It's great to be here with so many fellow patriotic young Americans, but I come with a message and with a warning. Our great nation is under attack. It's been infected by the China virus. Divided by anarchist riots and manipulated by the tyranny of big tech. But you are the youth, the energy, the inspiration and passion of our movement. You are the beneficiaries of the covenant that we as leaders make with the future for a preserved America. But what kind of America will she be? I'm not ready for the woke-topia being built by the radical left. It's not only treacherous, it's un-American. They would disarm law-abiding Americans and then take the assailants and abusers and even murderers and turn them out on our streets with no bail. They would lock us in our own homes and then turn around and embrace the immigration policies that move MS-13 next door. They would render your job illegal, but then hang an open for business sign at the U.S.-Mexico border for cartels, thugs, criminals, and traffickers. Matter of fact, the more I look at the radical left and Democrats in Congress, the more I think they're fighting harder for the jobs of cartel members than the jobs of hardworking Americans. They would defund the police and force all of you to surrender to some racist, genderless warlord of the Chaz. Well, you know what? This doesn't look like a group that's going to sign up for surrender to me. You are the fighters in the battle space of ideas, and your country needs you. I need you, and our president is counting on you. But we will win. We will save America because we will never stop fighting for her. Yesterday, just yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order restricting immigration and preserving the jobs, 525,000 jobs for Americans. Today, President Trump was down in Yuma working to accelerate the construction of the border wall. And as President Trump reminds us, we don't build walls because we hate the people on the outside. We build walls because we love the people on the inside. It was almost 100 years ago that these America First values were reflected in the Republican Party. Let me read to you what a prior Republican president said. Restricted immigration is not an offensive, but purely a defensive action. It is not adopted in criticism of others in the slightest degree, but solely for the purpose of protecting ourselves. We cast no aspersions on any race or creed, but we must remember that every object of our institutions of society and government will fail unless America be kept American. Calvin Coolidge accepting the Republican nomination in 1924. After we elect President Trump in 2024, we will be 100 years from that statement from President Coolidge, and it is my belief that we must find and hone leaders who will embrace these America First values and reject the policies that would have our country invade everywhere and invite everyone. That is the establishment. That is not our movement. We will fight against it in 2020, in 2024, and beyond. President Coolidge also said that as Americans, we are the peers of kings. And I don't think it's a bad thing if we start acting like it. Some might call that male privilege or white privilege. You know what? Those terms are just racist terms to try to tell people to shut up, and we're done being quiet. I reject the notion of white privilege or black privilege or any other type of privilege. We are all unified in one American privilege that we should be proud of and fight for with everything we have. Meanwhile, the radical left would dilute Americanism with unchecked immigration as they attack and destroy our history. They want us to be ashamed of our history because they want us to be ashamed of our country. They don't think America is worth preserving, but it is. America is the greatest country that has ever existed in all of human history. Don't you ever let some celebrity or some athlete or some actor tell you otherwise. No, the woke left, they would smear and cancel all of us if they could. They'd call us grievance racists, but never surrender the frame. We should be joyous and inclusive and inviting to everyone who loves our country, because there is no cause more worthy, there is no enterprise more inspiring than to ensure the preservation of our nation and the protection of our people. President Reagan said, "Tear down that wall." President George H.W. Bush wanted 1,000 points of light, whatever that means. Clinton wanted to build a bridge. He just didn't tell us that it was going to be the Chinese Communist Party and illegal aliens coming back across the bridge. Obama told us which way the moral arc of the universe bent. He really did. President Trump is going to build the wall, but once we build that wall, we need someone to man the gates. And at times they'll swing open, but those gates must always remain closed for anyone who would do our nation harm, morally, physically, or economically. Harm to America is precisely what will accelerate the rise of Red China. And as we've been distracted by endless wars to fuel a military-industrial complex, China has been carving out an empire. We've been obsessed with the Middle East while we've foolishly ignored the Middle Kingdom. There is a story we tell ourselves about China and the communist Chinese, that they're just like us, that we just simply need to engage them more, invite them more, trade with them more. The reality is, nothing could be further from the truth. President Trump sees China clearly, so do I. We cannot have Beijing Biden in the White House. Donald Trump will ensure American success in this century and beyond. The default setting for the human species is quite literally Han Chinese. There are more than 1 billion of them. And so for America to be successful, for us to prevail and realize the highest extent of our prosperity, we must be unified, coming together with everyone contributing. But how can everyone contribute if Silicon Valley gets to play online hall monitor with free speech? You know, the left wants to defund the actual police. I would just like to defund the thought police out in Silicon Valley. Thanks to the courageous reporting of Project Veritas, we now know that big tech cheats. They deplatform conservatives. They shadow ban members of Congress. By the way, during the Russia hoax, they shadow banned 4 members of Congress: Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, Devin Nunes, and Matt Gaetz. I'm pretty proud to be in that group. Twitter has now labeled the president. They label tweets that many of us send. And what they really want is for us to self-censor. They don't want us to say what we believe. They don't want us to forcefully defend America and American values. They want you to be less bold, more meek. Well, screw that. We're the America First movement. These colors don't run or fade. We will never apologize for American progress. We will never cave to the cancel culture. Fly your MAGA flags at full, not half-mast. Stand with your patriotic president and restore our country for the sake of our people. You know, these riots that are going on, attacking our monuments and our history, this is not political speech. It's not political speech when you throw a cinder block through a Nike store and walk out with Air Jordans. It's not political speech when you are promoting violence against the police, but this is not about police violence. It's not even about race. They want to replace and destroy our great nation. But to destroy her, they must first convince us not to love her. I will always love America. Sorry, not sorry. We have defended this president from impeachment, and now we must rise and defend our nation against the anarchists who would turn us on ourselves and deprive us of our sense of national identity and an American self-actualized being. They've even tried in other parts of the world to tear down the statue of Winston Churchill. Like the anti-fascists are going after the OG anti-fascist. I mean, they should have seen the other guy. Winston Churchill is my father's political hero. Every day when he would drive me to school, I would hear Churchill's speeches, often delivered over the radio as London was being bombed. And there was certainly a time when London could have fallen. England could have fallen. And Churchill had to inspire a nation by saying, even if we have to leave, even if we have to go, even if we have to inhabit the vast islands and territories of the British Empire, we must continue to fight. I admire Churchill's sense of fight, but I'm not going anywhere. America is not just an idea or a constitution. America is our home, and we must protect and defend our home. For if she falls, there is no alternative. There is no place to go. And so let us fight with all we have for our president, for our country. Thank you for being the inspiration of our movement. Thank you for fighting. Let's go get them!